What's going on, guys? Waco from Revolution. I'm speaking fast because I have the fastest oscillating mechanical watch on my wrist at 288,000 vibrations per hour, and it is the incredible Frederique Constant Monolithic. Constant Kwong, how are you?
I'm good, Wei. How are you guys?
So we are now about to launch our second Frederique Constant Monolithic watch. So Constant, tell us a little bit about what the Monolithic is.
The first ever Frederique Constant Monolithic was actually launched in 2021. So it is actually the fastest oscillating mechanical watch made with 40 Hz, as you mentioned, 288,000 vibrations per hour.
And that's 80 beats per second, right?
Yes, that's right, 80 beats per second.
Which is crazy.
It's
because when
insane.
you look at the second hands, that means the second hand is actually adopting 80 different positions per second, which creates this almost like seamless
gliding effect,
right?
yes.
Right? Yep. Sometimes people even compare it to the
Grand Seiko spring drive,
right.
yes, that's
but
right.
the spring drive is not a mechanical oscillator.
Yes.
And this one is.
It
so
is,
let's talk about this oscillator. It is created in collaboration with a lab called Flexus.
Yes.
Right? Now the cool thing about this is that you replace 26 parts of the watch.
That's right.
So you basically imagine this: you throw away the balance wheel, you throw away the balance spring, you throw away the escapement, and even the anti-shock, and you replace it with this silicone monolithic
That's
structure.
right, yes, that's right.
This thing vibrates at just 6 degrees of amplitude. And it's vibrating at this crazy ass speed of 288,000 vibrations per hour, or as you said, 40 Hertz,
That's
or
right.
80 beats per second. But I heard something crazy. Constant, this is the very last of the monolithics. What is going
really?
on? Yeah, dude. So I was just told by the team of Frederique Constant that this watch we're launching is a limited edition collaboration with them. Is going to be the very last monolithic in this configuration made.
But why?
This watch, which retails for 4,450 euro, is a watch that took crazy ass like space age technology and mechanical watchmaking and made it accessible to the people. And that's what I love about Frederique Constant. But my perception of this is also at that price, they were basically losing money on every watch.
I can imagine, yeah.
Right? And the reason is the following. In order to regulate this watch, they had to come up with all new technology that was completely unheard of.
That's right.
Because the way in which you regulate a normal watch is you stick it on a witchy machine. There's acoustic sound that's heard that allows you to regulate the watch,
That's
correct?
right, yeah.
But because this is vibrating so fast and because the degree of amplitude is so small, it doesn't have the same acoustic properties as a normal mechanical watch. So they had to create an all-new technology, which I know you're going to tell me about, which is?
It's a high-speed laser camera to actually record 250,000 images per second.
Right. They had to build this camera themselves to be able to capture the movement of the oscillator and able to regulate it because of that. But there's an even bigger problem, right? Because this is essentially a free-sprung oscillator, which means you have two opposable weights.
Yes.
By shifting the position of these oscillating weights just fractions of a millimeter, probably much smaller than that, you're changing the rate of the oscillator in the same way that when you change the opposable weights on a traditional balance wheel, right? And in order to do this, it's so painstaking that even though you created something that's super space age, you're still incredibly reliant on human beings to regulate.
Yes, and very, very difficult to do. It's not just a normal human touch on it, it's extreme technical proficiency of that person that's regulating that. Absolutely,
and knowing Niels Eggerding, who is the CEO of Frederique Constant, he is dedicated to every watch that leaves the manufacturer being of the highest quality possible. In fact, at one point they had even planned on getting this cost certified. The only problem is that cost themselves don't have the right equipment to be able to measure the rate of the watches. Exactly. So, okay, so the whole thing is that they're going to pause. No more of these, right? So we've got the last ones, and they're going to completely reconfigure the entire structure of this movement. But when it comes back, the watch has to be many times more expensive than this watch as well. So this actually represents a pretty unique moment in watchmaking history where a brand tried to make the coolest technology possible, tried to advance the whole story of mechanical watchmaking, tried to make it accessible to the average consumer. But also realize that that's untenable for the future. So this is the last of them, but don't worry, of course, because Frederique Constant is going to stand by every single one of these watches. So we are so honored to be the partners for Frederique Constant, for Niels Eggerding and his team, to be the guys that offer the very last of these monolithics, which is kind of historic.
Wow.
So on top of that, we want to talk about why we decided to configure the watch in this way, right? So we did this beautiful collaboration last year. Constant, tell us about that.
So actually I own 2 pieces of it.
You have 2?
Yes, I have 2 pieces. One for my dad and one for me.
Amazing.
It's the first ever monolithic I actually own. I mean, it's a beautiful watch. Of course, other than technicality of having the monolithic movement, it comes with a 2-tone salmon dial. We have a inner frosted finished dial, and of course we have a circular brushed polished sector dial as well. You know, of course, we've applied Breguet numerals, which is beautiful. So
if I'm not mistaken, we called that watch the FP for future past.
Yes,
and the whole idea was that we wanted to use the technology of the future, but we were inspired by dials of the past, the classic era of the 40s and 50s to create that dial. But now we have the opportunity to create one last edition of this, and we've done it in this stunning emerald green dial with also applied Hindu Arabic indexes to celebrate the launch of our new office in Dubai for Revolution Arabia.
I'm very excited about that, and you know, this is a great execution to celebrate that special moment, right?
Well, you know, the thing is also, you know, we had initially thought about releasing this watch purely as a Middle East edition, but because it's the very last of the monolithics, we're like, we should open this up to everyone.
Yeah, should open it to the world.
Yes, so guys, that's the surprise. This is the very last of the Frederique Constant monolithics, the currently world's fastest oscillating mechanical watch. It's 4,450 euro. And if you want to own a part of watchmaking history, well, to me, this is it.
Get it? Well, it's still, you know, affordable, you know, because as you said, the forecast of the next monolithic, we are really unsure, but I heard this many times of what the watch
we know it will be multiple times more expensive than this, so, and which of course we understand why, because of how time consuming it is to regulate these watches. So thank you so much for joining us. And guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment if you like our content on behalf of Constant and myself. It means a lot to us. Cool?
Cool. All right.
Peace.
See you guys.